Aloha, my beautiful friends. Krista Lakshmi here, saying aloha from San Diego, and welcome to the Holistic Abundance Day number 30. We are almost in the end. I call myself Abundance Anthropologist, and I believe each one of us, we have a hidden treasure box inside of us where our hidden talents are inside. So my purpose has been to help people to find those talents, activate, and also activate their holistic abundance so that they could also manifest their inner fairy tales into the dreams in this reality on their terms. It has been an amazing journey throughout my life to work with people and also with myself. And today we have a questions and answers session. So I have got quite many questions with messages and emails and so on. So I'll do my best to go through it all today. And if you are coming here during the live and you have an additional question, please still don't hesitate to, write it in the comment sections, and I can see what I can do if I can squeeze it in. So thank you so much, everyone who you actually answered to my Facebook messages yesterday. I sent out 25 personal messages to people who have been most active. There are some which are still on the way, and I'm going to send out today as well. And I'm so grateful that half of those messages got answered. People showed their gratitude. They have been thinking along. They have been inspired, motivated, and they've also got lots of insights. So that makes my heart sing, and it's so amazing to see that what I'm doing is, reaching somewhere deeper inside of you and making a difference in your life. That's the biggest gift there is. So, okay, but let's dive into the questions. So we have quite a lot to go through. If you get here, please say aloha. I see Eha is here, aloha. So one of the questions, I think I got it right. If not, this question was kind of like complicated the way it was presented. So I'll try to make a best of it. So, so what to do when you work with the person who is very difficult and it's difficult to communicate with that person. So there are different ways. So, and also when you start to think why this is, why are you put into a situation like that, working with the person like that. So very often when we end up in a situation like this, it's actually also there is some kind of karma relation or karma lesson which you have to learn. And you will learn it by, changing the pattern. All the people in our lives who show up with this kind of situations show up because something is unresolved. So it may be, we don't know, maybe past lifetime, one of you killed another, one of you stole from the other. So you have to figure out what's the lesson there and how you can kind of, fix it. And sometimes it's very simple. You just kind of look at it and it's like, oh, I have to learn about setting boundaries, or I have to learn, to show what I need and how I need, or I have to really speak out, how things are in my world, and not let anyone, crush me and just walk over me. So there may be different, reasons for that. So it's really good to kind of think from that perspective. So one other really amazing thing when you do aura transformation is because in the old energy, in this, what we call the astral body, that's where, the karma is located. So when you go through the aura transformation, all that karma energy actually dissolves. And when you get into the new energy, what happens is basically your life gets so much easier and you have less and less those kind of connections. And even if it is like some kind of connections from the past, which you need to release or dissolve, you kind of get the solution or the answer like instantly or very, very quickly. So this way also, I just can't, stop stressing the fact that how aura transformation can make your life easier and faster and simpler. So this were really amazing. So in addition, one of the things which this person who was asking was like, I'm sending love and, kind of protect myself and so on. In the new energy, the suggestion is not to send, love and light and roses, because then you enforce and you actually amplify and you kind of energetically are saying, keep doing what you're doing. No way. So you have to basically do the new time energy clearing, and some of the other questions basically go to the same topic section. So every day when you feel this kind of person is in your reality, you can take a little time out or check out. You can go to the toilet or go outside, and then you just close your eyes, breathe in, and while you breathe in, you pull back all your energies, and then you imagine that around you there is a cleansing filter. So whatever has been, connected to other people, projections, thoughts, whatever, will be kind of dropped and cleansed. So you get your energy back like completely clean. And when you breathe out, you send back everything what's not yours. And it goes to where it came from. You don't clean it. You don't, send roses and light and so on. If I would clean it, it would be like basically going to my neighbor without asking him or her, taking their dirty laundry and washing it and then dropping it back, and then comes out maybe that the detergent I was using is no good because they have allergy for some kind, So in the new energy, everyone has to learn to take care of their own energy, and also, remind others to be as well, basically also take that responsibility as well. So, and when you do that, you not only cleanse, but you also amplify and get your own, energy structure, plus also your, protection and everything so much stronger. So if you are in the new energy, you have another sentence which is saying, my balanced body balances me now, which is basically whatever is inside, kind of like checking you out, will be cleared. And it's like energy does this. And in 5 minutes, you completely like a clean slate again. And that was one of the biggest amazing changes what happened to me when I started also to work with people after aura transformation. Before aura transformation, I was working with people. After 5 people, I was under the table. I just couldn't take it anymore, because all that negative energy or the issues they had, I just kind of took it all inside of me. But then the energy started to help me to clear it as we were going, and I could, work with so many more people and not get tired, and also the protection was so much stronger. And this way, working as a healer or energy worker, oh my God, it's night and day difference, very, very different. So good point. So I would also recommend to go through the 4-wheel system, which I was sharing here, 4S system and 4V system, how you can, work with your self-image, your self-confidence, your self-value, and also how to set better boundaries, and as well map yourself with the 4V system, as we were talking here, worldviews, viewpoints, needs, values, shadows. And when you have people who are in this hard energy, they usually operate from this section here. And when they are in the shadow energy, they all the time, they get food from conflicts. So this is how they are actually fed. And what that means is also they are cut off from the universal, life force. So in order for them to survive, they have to create conflict so that they can, get that energy from the people around them. And you can have, some places you go, and you will be there like 5 minutes, and you feel like completely drained. That's why this is happening. So this is very important. And another thing which would help is probably it's very important also to make clear, what is it you wish? Why are you in this situation? And you can never, put focus on changing the other person. It will never work. All the focus needs to be on you. If you change the perspective, if you change the approach, if you, do work with yourself, and you don't, do the things the way you used to do it before, you don't let the other person step on you, you don't let the other person misuse you, you don't let the other person, all those things we were talking about, physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, you just say, stop, this is not okay anymore. So you basically, what happens, you have to start to train everyone around you to act and behave differently, because they're so used to, to misuse you because you have allowed them to. So as you start to, do it differently, of course they will resist because they're so used to it. They are so used to get your energy and to get into you. So you have to be very consistent with that. It's kind of like training a dog, you have to just do it consistently, and then it will eventually change. So aloha Ville Bender as well. Very nice to have you. There was another, I hope that question was well answered. So person who asked it, you can give me thumbs up, or if you have some other questions about it, let me know. What's the best way to ask questions from your inner family? So it's basically, you have to figure it out, because it's your inner family. I don't know your inner family. So every inner family is different. It's all connected to your story, to your emotional wounds, everything what you have experienced. So that has made your inner family the way they are today. So you have to just, experiment. It's like building a relationship with the human being. And it doesn't come overnight. You have to like test and experiment. And, for me also, it took many, many years to figure out and get it going, the way it's going right now. So it's a lot of training and test and, trying. So there's no right and wrong here. So just start to question, and then see like what happens in the outside reality. Does your inner family member feel like, okay, what's the situation there, and you will get guided, further, and so on. So let's see. Someone asked if I have changed my name, and if they are going to change it, do I have tips and stuff about that? Very many people who do aura transformation actually go through that route. They just feel that with that new energy, the old name doesn't resonate with them. And I had that going through that whole process. It took me 2 years to get it like legally in my papers. But I was like so disconnected with that old me that I just, I couldn't even like sign the papers anymore. I felt like vomiting, And why that was because that name was connected to my karma, was connected to my ancestors and all of these things. And because there was so much negativity and so much drama and trauma, it was just like, bearing me down. So I started a legal process with Krista Ra Lakshmi, and Lakshmi was actually, that name came to me in my mountain trip in Norway. And Lakshmi was written, Lakshmi, which is, kind of what they do in India, how they write it. So Lakshmi is the goddess of abundance, And the Estonian government, it goes like back and forth so many times to, get it confirmed. Was telling me all the time that this combination doesn't work, and Lakshmi, as I wanted it, is not okay with Estonian language and so on. So I changed it to Lakshmi, which is maybe the new time abundance, goddess. So who knows? So anyway, so they were actually also recommending to do part of the old name and part of the new name. And this thing was going on like 2 years back and forth. And every time they asked, why do you want to change your whole name? And then I came with ideas like, it's numerology wise better. It's like, my relatives are calling me names because I'm doing the spiritual work I'm doing. I don't want to do anything with them anymore. And I was like coming with different, answers. And then in the end, I was like, what the heck am I doing? So I just answered, this name came to me like from God or universe, whatever you believe. And that's a divine name, my new name. And this is what I'm going to have. And then the name went through, and then I got it also in my passport. And now Ditten is my husband's last name, as I was working so much already with my full new name. I didn't want to lose it, so I just added Ditten to it. So I mean, it's really long now, but it has all the elements and energies. And as I changed my name, the next year my income increased. So that was the year where my revenue in Estonia was getting close to like $100,000. So that's like, very impressive how the name can also, because I feel and believe that name is also frequency. Every letter is frequency. So if you want to change it, it may be time-consuming process, but go for it. It's every country is different. If you want to change the whole name, they kind of start to look into it, like, are you a criminal? What's the reason? So it may take a little more time, but completely possible, and it will change so many things in your life. I see also Svea has joined. Aloha, Svea. So let's see more. I take the first, the clearest questions. So, okay. So someone was asking, okay, I'm going out with the new date. So what would be the first 3 steps you would recommend during the first date? My number one thing is, before you go to a date, definitely write down, your self declaration, which has been the homework here for several occasions. So who you are, how you're going to take care of you. So when you are going to meet this person, you are not going to bend and kind of, start to do stupid things because you want to be liked and so on. So so that's the first thing, is like, I'm going into this meeting, I have my self-declaration in place, I know who I am, and also that also gives you a better idea, what do you want? So that's basically the second question for yourself, is what do you want? What do you want out of this meeting? What's your, desire in it, And third one would be, not if that other person likes me, but, ask yourself, do I like this person? Like, do I really like this person on body, mind, spirit level? And I would even add the fourth one, which is basically ask questions, be present, and also listen more than you talk. That's one of the reasons and mistakes many people do during the first, date. So if you do those 4 things, you will be starting off this in a completely different, way. I hope that was helpful. So very cool. So someone asked, is it okay to have a sex friend? So someone you just have sex with? Of course it is. It's just, how you define it. Like, does that work on your terms? Is everything clear? When you go into sexual relationships, it's very crucial that you have very clear self-declaration in place, and that other person also has that. And then if you are just sex partners and there are other people involved as well, you have to have actually several pages of, contract with yourself, with that partner, because, you want to also know, safe sex if they have sex with other people as well. So what's safe sex? Do you use condom? Do you use, what prevention do you use? All those things, So when you get to the sex level, it may seem like easy. You're kind of, satisfying your sexual desires, but it's never just about sex, because everything, when you are on sexual and intimate level, everything else usually also gets involved. And if it doesn't, it's always, somehow emotional wound or something which is actually disconnecting the rest of it. And why would you, you know, want to have just sex just on the body and that level, physical level? I want it all. I want, you know, body, mind, spirit connection. Oh my God, like what's the difference, you know? And I know so well, I used to have some sex friends, you know, and I call them tantric buddies or, you know, tantric partners. And it never actually worked on a long-term basis because I understood that this is superficial. It's like snorkeling in, you know, sexuality. And if you really want to get deep, you know, you have to start to deep dive. And in order to deep dive, you have to know the conditions and, you know, agreements, what would work for you. And then I started to actually clean out all the, you know, one night stands and short stuff. And I was so clear, I don't need those anymore. I need one strong and deep diving relation. And then once this is going and very deep, I can create additional ones. But then also I want those also to be deep diving because this is the desire of my spirit, of my body, of my mind. And as I am the queen or as you are the king or queen, so you deserve it too. But it's just up to you, like how to, you know, choose it. So next question, is it okay to have a sex partner as with your ex? I would never recommend it because very seldom you have really good terms with your ex. There is always some emotional resentment and stuff, and it just tangles you even more. So if you are living with intention and you throw it out, I want this kind of relation and this kind of person, and you start to also work with yourself that you have all of those things also what you're looking outside. This is the fastest route. Then this person will come to you and you're like, oh my God, that's such a difference, you know. When I met Michael, I just couldn't believe that a person, it felt like, you know, my masculine me had manifested, like the values, the needs, the worldview, the goals, the yumminess of our energy, physical and also spiritual, and the connectedness also on the mental level. It was just beyond anything I had ever experienced before. And this is so, you know, worth it to go for it and don't go for anything less. And of course, it doesn't manifest overnight. You know, oftentimes you have to work consciously for that, you know. That was a really good question. Thank you. So now we have one more really amazing question. So I have had some shorter relations, and I have met men who have been, you know, manipulating with energies. And I have noticed, you know, that even though I've done, you know, intentional, you know, protection, you know, my life and sexual energy is only for my use, and put extra protection at nighttime, I feel those men are still, you know, sucking my energy. So one of the things I would say to this person, if you want to really protect yourself and your energies, if you haven't done aura transformation yet, that should be one of the first things in your list, because I also see that you probably are a spiritual person and you're working with people as well. This will really help in so many ways. And as I did aura transformation, what was really amazing, as you go in the process and your spirit kind of goes deeper into you, in the beginning, it's still kind of, you know, lots of chaos and, you know, pumping here and there and so on. But as it goes deeper and deeper in you, you start to also realize more who you actually are and what you desire and how and so on. So what happens is you start to see through people's agendas, you know, even before they approach you, because the information will be delivered by your spirit or whoever is trying to protect you. I tell one story, you know, one of the huge Tantra teachers who has been visiting Estonia several times and took Estonia by storm. All the people went to him and did like crazy many, like I was like, you know, people usually say that when I ask, you know, for them to come to aura transformation, which is like 300 euros, or, you know, some other sessions, like, oh, you're so expensive, Krista, we can't afford it. And suddenly all these people, it was like he was like working like crazy, like 10 sessions or more per day, and those sessions were like around 200-300, even more euros. People had that money. I was like, wow, like how did that happen? So when there is a will, there is a way, right? So what happened was, I just went for curiosity. I wanted to see, like, okay, is he as great as he is? And I had a little issue at the time as well. So I went there actually together with my female partner at the time. And what happened was, as we were doing, he was doing the yoni massage. After the yoni massage was done, he was asking, "Can I enter now?" And I was like, "What?" And I was just so shocked someone would do that. We had no agreements prior to the session, which is what you should do when you do such kind of work. And as I was just so out of it, I was like, okay, yeah, well, let's do it. And I also wanted to do it to just see, like, okay, is he that great as he says he is? And he wasn't. So, and then later what came out was, I realized, like, oh my God, what does he do? When he does that, he actually starts to steal women's life and sexual energy. I started to see how it was like connected, and I was like, connected to him. And he started to, pull that energy from me. And as I was in the new energy, I noticed it right away, and I sent it back, like I was saying in the beginning here. You send it back as it came, and then you pull your energy back, your sexual energy back, your life force back. And then when it doesn't end, you have to say something really, really crazy, like with that story I told about Mexico, when this woman, witch in Mexico, was like really attacking me from different ways, and it got really crazy. I was like, okay, connecting to my spirit. So, okay, how can I get rid of her and her attacks so that she would really stop it? And the only crazy things what came was basically, if you don't stop it, I will come and cut your husband's balls. And of course, I didn't mean it, but the energy which I had it was like really, crazy and really strong. And she stopped immediately. So sometimes you have to figure out what it is for you. It was maybe, I'm sorry about the bad language or whatever, but sometimes you have to do these extreme things to, really get things kind of shown into place, And then I realized also the popularity, how he is so a global phenomenon. That's what he does. He does those sessions, and then he enters the woman, and he is, then you can imagine when he's walking around, all these women in the room, they notice him. They actually don't notice him, but they notice that special energy, what he has, which is not even his, because he has actually, stolen it from all these women. So I realized that, and then I even, expressed myself with that person. And then some of the people who had gone to him as well said, oh, I felt like honored that, a tantra teacher wants to enter me, It's like, okay, that's you, not me. But, this is what happens in the tantra world. So many men start to do tantra in order to get free sex or get easier access to women's sexuality. They have actually no good intentions. They want to actually learn tricks how to manipulate and misuse women even more. So it is your task to sense these men before you go to bed. So that's why I say, make your self-declaration. If you go out with a man for 2 months and he's still there by the end of 2 months, he's probably not a psycho and someone who is manipulating, because they just don't have that energy and time to waste. They want easy catch, they want easy access, and they want easy, so to say, weak or stupid women as they think, So it's very, very important. So once I did my aura transformation, what also happened was that the protection goes so much stronger. So also, as I've had sex with someone, and that time I had lots of sometimes different partners at the same time, or I had lots of like smaller relations after each other. So I had to learn really to cleanse my energies very quick. So I did that energy clearing, which I was teaching you in the beginning of this video, sometimes like, 5-20 minutes after the, encounter. And then also, especially when I broke up with the person, I did like a complete, like, clean out. And this way, I learned how I can actually break up with the person and 5 minutes later meet another person and start from a new page. And then people, of course, started to judge me like, Crystal, this is like unreal, like, you using people, or you are like, it's not, because I was very conscious about what I was doing. I was experimenting with myself, my abilities, what works, what doesn't work. And I did it always with as much respect and, care about the people I was with. So of course, sometimes I also made mistakes because I didn't know all the things, the way I do today. So I know the person who asked this question, I hope that was enough answer for you. So to say, basically also start with your self-declaration. If you haven't done aura transformation, do that. If you're interested to do it with me, let me know. I have some people who have showed interest, so we can do that this spring in Estonia if I get enough. If not, I can recommend you to my contact in Estonia. So I see Malle has also joined from Hawaii. Aloha, very nice to see you. So basically, I got to go through most of the questions. We are already over time. I see what I would, if there is anything. So one of the things I want to comment, so I have lots of Estonians right now in this program. So they gave me feedback. Crystal, you have no idea how difficult it is in Estonia. There is so much like non-stability. It's hard to find good jobs or new jobs. And lots of money and financial problems. And I believe if you put in use all the things I've been teaching you prior this video this month, don't think about how to make money. Think about what are my talents. Go back to this talents video. What are my talents? What are my life mission sectors? How can I activate those? What packages I can put it in, and what's possible, and it will, turn out the way it's supposed to. Right now, I was actually finding a job offer for anthropology instructor. And anthropology for me has been just on the, on the shelf for like 13 years. I have not really, like academically, really used it. So, and now it's basically very close to where I live here in San Diego. And when I look at my qualifications, I was even starting to look, if I want to, go through to certify that all of my credentials are okay. I started to look from Estonia, that do they work with Estonia? And it's like, oh my God, I didn't go to university in Estonia. It's like, wow, I forgot that, I was in Oslo University, Cape Town University, and Tromsø University. How many people who have 3 world-class universities like that, under their belt? So, and just recently I did master classes with, Martin Scorsese about the filmmaking, and now also Neil Tyson, who was talking about scientific thinking and public speaking and so on. And tomorrow I'll go and do a public speaking class, about the signature talk and stuff. So everything, you see how the, spirit is guiding me, like what's going on, and getting back to, artsy stuff and so on. So, and if something doesn't go the way I planned or put energy, then I know, okay, spirit doesn't want me to do those things right now. So I have to like look into those other things. And even if this job doesn't work out, I don't get it, that's fine, So it's just out there that, okay, this is a possibility. And, having a master's degree also, it's a waste of time. There's kind of also even just looking what's the, hourly rate, it's like, oh my God, this master degree has been just sitting on the shelf would have, you know, really helped me if I would have put it to use even earlier, you know. And now learning also everything, you know, how to present, how to tell stories and so on. I remember the first anthropology class I went with Thomas Ulland Eriksson. Oh my God, I was like, I was burning inside. It was like, he was telling stories. He was telling stories from his field work, his competence about so many anthropological things. He was so exciting. I just couldn't like wait to have more of what he had to tell. And this is where, you know, is also where I'm heading, you know, to become a public speaker. So also that, you know, people would be sitting on the edge of their stool and be very excited, like what I have to say. So this is one of the little tips when I asked also, like, would you be interested in inner family program? Yes, I would, but I don't have money. So there are many possibilities, you know. Start with the money magnet number 1. It's just €5. You learn already how to activate energies differently. You know, if you have a little more money, €40, you can buy 8 money magnets. It's 8 different ways to work with activating your abundance. People have won, you know, brand new cars just with you know, with 8 money magnets. How is this even possible? A car, it's like, you know, depending on the car, like 20,000 or more, you know, something. So it's a lot of abundance, you know, and other things, you know, partner, new jobs, and so on. So if you really put a little extra effort into the invisible world and work with yourself, the results will show, you know. And that's just how the universe works, how the world works, you know. So you just have to be participant in it. So that's it for today. And I have actually today for your tasks, I have questions for you. So 3 questions I have for you all who you are on the other side today. So I was just thinking, you know, if you hear inner family coaching program, so I thought like maybe this is like too intimidating. Some people, they think like, oh, how can I like join this program, because, you know, what would my neighbors think? I'm like kind of talking to my invisible friends inside of me. So if you have a suggestion for a different name for this inner family class, which is you got now to connect to many of the topics I've been going through all this month. So suggestion for the name of my inner family class, maybe it's a crash course in communication or crash course in relationships, or what would be a appealing name which you think would really, you know, attract more people. Then I would also like you to go back. I will put the link into the holistic abundance you know, challenge, and then go through and pick 3 of the main most important and most interesting topics out of those 29 days we went through, which were so appealing for you and which you would like to kind of hear a little more. And then the 3rd one, what is your number 1 challenge right now? I would be so interested if you could actually email those to me, kristaralakshmi@gmail.com, or send me Facebook Messenger. I would be so grateful if you could share these with me. So the last one, what's your number 1 challenge in your life? What you struggle with? That would also help me to know more how to, you know, put products together and work so I can give more back to you. So yesterday's class with Neil Tyson was really inspiring. And one of the things which I would like to share with you from that class is, if you don't know who he is, I will put some links here too, so you can see and get to know him a little more. He talks about, you know, science and astrophysics and planets, and he's just so exciting, you know. And he does lots of public speaking as well. And he calls himself a public educator, and he's doing it out of duty because he can communicate and help people with that communication to better their wealth, health, and security. And this is the work he's doing for the nation, and it would not be tolerable to do it, not to do it. So it's like kind of your active duty in a way, or his active duty. And I kind of feel the same way. Sometimes I feel like, okay, can I even call myself abundance anthropologist? Because most people think abundance is you can even just talk about it once you have, you know, millions of dollars and so on. But just think of what a rich life I have had. Just today I was thinking, you know, how much freedom I've had. Like how many people in the world have been to Hawaii 3 times, 3 months at a time, you know, or, you know, travel 30 countries. Like when I say I've traveled to 30 countries in USA, they just roll their eyes like, oh my God, where are you coming from? Because here their holiday is only 1 week per year, if that, you know. So how have I made it work? So if you didn't check out all the previous videos, you know, go back and see. So I see it also my duty to, you know, share my stories. So it will inspire people, you know, how to create more wealth and health and security, or freedom, depends on like what's your, you know, purpose. So if all of that, what I shared today was amazing and you would like to work with me, if it's not the Inner Family 4 months program for $250 per month, if it's just coaching one-to-one, you would just want to have someone like maybe once a month for a whole year, you want to go deeper into those topics, and depending on customized, you know, issues you have, I'm also up for that. So we can customize and do things. If you want to come and adventure with me in Hawaii in November, we'll have 10 days there. I'll put the link underneath here too. If you want to, you know, go through the Attract More Abundance class, which we have in English, I'll put the link down too. So there's so many ways to work with me, or also with my husband. So just let me know. I would be so amazingly happy to work with you, and very, very honored. And also, you know, as usual, watch, like, do the tasks, and also share it. And just think, when we finish this on Saturday, I have been producing basically 15 hours in English and 15 hours in Estonian. So I've shared it freely with the whole world. And what is it you could contribute to me? Could you become my subscriber? Could you like my videos? Could you share my content with people who you know who would really, you know, appreciate it? Share them with them and ask them also maybe, you know, do the same thing, you know, become a subscriber and so on. We are living in the world where numbers in social media are becoming a new currency. So I don't like it, but what to do? This is the world. I have to, you know, keep up with it. And if I want to survive with my life missions, I have to do what I have to do. So it has been an honor. And I see you all on this channel again this Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific Central Time, and 7:30 will be the Estonian. So, and in case you are in Europe this spring and you would like to meet with me, do Aura Transformation, or even come to my spring retreat there with Wantra and everything else, let me know. I have also a special price still going with that. It would be a really amazing honor to work with you. Thank you so much, and all the best. Talk to you all again on Saturday. Mahalo.